Okay, it's recording. Okay, I keep intending to do one of these videos on how to organize MathMap, and I'm always waiting to have everything perfect, and perfect never happens. And so, as Andrew Pudua says, however imperfectly, hopefully this can help people. So I find that when a curriculum is hard and things aren't working well, or if our school day isn't going well, or if we're having a lot of like little mini mutinies, things going on, a lot of times I can take care of a lot of the trouble if I get my materials very, very organized and make it so that my brain can think about watching my kids' faces for how they're doing, or for anticipating problems or keeping things rolling, rather than, oh no, where's my book? What page am I supposed to be on? Where did I put that? So to me, I'm not an organized person by nature, but so my oldest is 21, and we've always homeschooled. So in the time that we've homeschooled over the past however many years, it's forced me to become organized, because organization is like it's kind of a sink or swim. Like a ship has to be organized, or it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you have the best winds, things aren't going to go well. So, all right. So with that, this is how I organize my MathMap materials to make sure that, come Monday morning or Wednesday morning is challenge maybe. Come Wednesday morning, when I have to figure out when it's time to do math, I have to just be ready and I can get where I need to go quickly. So what I did is I took all my booklets, all the little booklets. This is Ex Nihilo. We got all our booklets, and first off, I tried to get them all in this zipper binder. They don't actually fit that well, but the point is, they have them all in the binder. But I took each booklet first, and I pulled out all the charts and all the solutions guide to every single one of these. Now, when I say pull out, let me show you the way I did that worked the best. So a lot of people have been messing with the staples and all that. Thing I found works best and quickest, and I'm all about speed, is I just took an X-Acto knife, very basic X-Acto knife, and I just put a tiny little slit at each of the two staples, just a tiny little one, and these guys just pull out really easy without risking ripping your page or damaging the staples or all the other things that you could do. So they came out super easy that way. And then, because I'm a homeschooler, I have lots of different paper cutting supplies. I have one of the big arm things that crunch down. I have these kind of scrapbooking type things. There's all these, and none of them work nearly as well as just using a ruler and my X-Acto again, stick in the sand, right? So I love these Architect rulers. They're great. They're like a triangle, and they're metal, and they're very, very precise, because architects have to be able to draw right on the dot with these. And so I feel like it makes a really nice cut. What I do is I just lay it in the seam, and I'm going to drop down the camera so you can see what I'm doing. I don't know if you can see now. Yep. Okay, so I just lay this right in the crease. I kind of hold it up like that, shove it right in the crease, and where it stops. And this one is this. So this is not the booklet. I'm using this as an example. So when you pull out your chart pages and your solutions guides, you're going to have a 2-page spread. And so pretend like this is one of those 2-page spreads. So I pull up the one side so that it kind of accentuates the crease in that 2-page spread. I slide that in there, and this one's not going right there because it's the staples, but you won't have the staples in there anymore because you pulled it out. So you put it right in there, and then I just take my X-Acto and I run it right down the line, and it's almost impossible to tell that I ever cut it to begin with. It looks just like a standard piece of paper. So I'm gonna raise this again. Right about there, maybe. Hopefully. Making videos is new to me, so as you can probably tell. All right, so then I take them all out. So I've got, so I have all my charts pulled out, and they're all cut so that they're normal size. Same thing for the solutions. So I have my stack of solutions guide, stack of charts, and I put them in these prong folders. Now, these are not the kind that I get at the office supply store. If you find these at the office supply store, great. But I have always had to order these offline. And these are like a thick plastic. They have 2 pockets. And I love that they have the clear things, the clear little thing in the front. Because we use these also for our poetry memorization and things like that. So it helps label, differentiate that these are different from our poetry and stuff. This is what I do when I'm in a hurry. Can you tell? A nice stack. So with the charts, or sorry, with the solutions, I didn't put them in a page protector. I just hole punched them, put them right in there, and they all fit into one. Okay, so all the solutions guides are right there, and you can see the page number right there. It's really quick and easy to get through them. And I picked orange because that's the closest thing I could find to that mustard gold color. When we get more levels, I'm sure that'll be confusing. But for math, like our family color for math is blue, our Latin color is purple. Like we've just kind of developed that system over the years. So I use the blue for math for the charts because I guess the charts stay the same every year. So blue just seemed like, but I put all of the charts in order in page protectors. Each one gets a page protector, but that thickens it quite a bit. And they do stick out a little bit on the side, but that's okay. But they're a lot thicker, so I need 2 of those, 1 for each semester. So this is semester 1, semester 2. And I'm sure I'll make covers for these at some point. I just for now put the little, so he knows that which book this is that he's working in. And I love this little sticker. This was on our table at Practicum, and I asked the moms, I'm like, does anybody else want that? They're like, no. And so I was like, oh, well, I'm taking that. So this is a good reminder to me. So little encouragements like that. I should find out where they got those stickers because I like those. All right, so once I've got my materials, so I've got my solutions guide. So when at community, what I am bringing is my son always has, I think it's a week 23 that or 29 that he takes to community every week, and that's in his challenge binder. But the current week can just fit in the pocket there. It just slips in there. Or we do a lot of car school. My son has a lot of medical appointments. So we are always on the go. I would like to do some videos on some more mom hacks about car schooling. But so he can just do this. He's got this. And if he needs a solutions guide, this is what he takes to community. He's got it all set and ready. Now, the next thing I did, so once these folders were set up, we did this before the first week of school. I know it's getting kind of late now and everybody's actually in the thick of things, but it still doesn't hurt, however imperfectly, right? So I put these flags on each one of the books, or many of the books, the first few books, and then we'll add them as we go. I should probably go through them all. But so you'll see here, I put the yellow, I color coded them so they were different because I feel like my young kids, they really do well if things are color coded and they can move quickly. People see color sometimes before they actually see letters and words. So the yellow here is the I for information pages. So I put I1, I2, and I know it means invention, right? Does it mean invention? Yes, it means invention. But I tell my kids, oh, that's our information pages. I know that's not the official CC thing, but so, and I put the flag so that when you go to open it, it opens to that page. So the flag goes on this side. And I know it seems like a small detail, but I know a lot of people when they put the flags so that the flag is sticking out when you open it. But my kids, I want to be able to just grab that and they know that they open to the information page. And then this, so we have, make sure it's in focus. There we go. Okay, so this says day 1 and it says pages 1, 2, 3, 4. And I do that. I make sure I have both labeled, like with the page numbers, because if he's in class and they say, we want to go look at this page or some references to pages, he needs to be able to get to them quickly. But he knows that on day 1, he just grabs this and opens it to the page, okay? And then same thing, we have day 2, day 3, day 4. And then here at the bottom, we have our careful calculations, okay? And later on, you'll see I'll show you those, but I ended up putting careful calculations Monday on the bottom. Anyway, so then when he's going through, what I had him do. Now, I did this before the first week of class because I didn't want him to be intimidated by the format before, while he was still wrestling with the new curriculum. So I wanted to, we spent some time going over formatting before we ever tackled a lesson. And I really tried hard to get him to not look at the problem so that it didn't build up that anxiety about what was coming. So we went through and he had to circle on each of the flashcard pages in highlighter. He highlighted the flashcards, check marks, and then he went through and underlined all the directions through the whole thing. And went through and just made sure that he was really focusing. I think that one we did get to. What was the reason for that? Oh, that's right. He skipped the page. It's on the next page. So that he was really focusing in on the directions, because I found that most of the time when he is stumped on something or frustrated, it's because we're not looking at the directions and understanding, oh, it just says to copy, or it's saying to simplify. So it might have complicated numbers like the square root of -I or something like that, but it's not asking us to know that. It's saying 2 times the square root of -I over 2. Well, to simplify, you just cancel out the 2, so you have a square root of -2I is the answer. That's what you were going for. You weren't trying to solve, like you weren't supposed to you weren't seeking to understand what the square root of -I was just yet. So that really helped us focus on directions, is the point. So now what he does, so we did that in advance on the week 2 booklet, but then the other ones, so this is, I knew I was going to go through a ton of these more expensive flags, so I just went on Amazon, and these are like, you get several hundred for like, I don't know, like $15. I don't know what it is, but so we got a whole, and they're very thin and papery, but they work fine. So then now we just are in the format of iPages. And then we put Wednesday, because our community is on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, careful calculations on Monday. And then he will, at the beginning of the week, go through and highlight the directions as we go through it. So, and because my first priority is to train myself and him to use the materials, not to understand everything that's going on. Maybe we'll aim for that in future years, but right now we're just focusing on the materials. So when I go through a lesson, and maybe I should do another video later about doing a lesson or doing, sitting down and having a discussion together about math. But when we sit and go through a lesson, when we sit down, we see the circled flashcards, and we play with flashcards. And maybe I should do a video on how to use fun ways to use the flashcards too. But he sees that, and when he runs into a problem, he's like, I don't know what to do. I say, okay, what are our resources? And first off, our first resource is each other. Okay, we've got each other. We can, because I have other kids going through the books, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. We can look at each other's books, and I have other problems. Okay, there are other answers that I can copy and copy the process of what they're doing and try to learn from them. I can turn to my charts, and I can turn to my solutions as necessary and work backwards. So that is how, that way, but these things are always just right here. We know where they are, and they fit into his Challenge A cart that I can do another video on how we organize that. But because they're color coded, they're easy to see, quick to find, all that. Oh, and then I take things out as he's done with them, and then just put them back in here, and we throw in all our math fits on the bottom here. And okay, so then I have a 7-year-old who I'm having do naturals, which we're pretty casual about that. And then I have a 3rd year essentials student who's going through fractions. So I'll show you a little, because he does it a little differently than my Challenge A does, because he just thinks differently. And so we can be flexible like that. But sometimes, so all his stuff is in here, ransoms. And we found these, this is a little more messy looking right now, but there's those numbered rainbow things that I kind of like. I use these a lot, but it just so happens they go up to 31 and there's 30 weeks. So I can organize them by that. But then I started adding the same flags for him that I did for Sebastian. So he has a little so that if I'm working with someone else, he doesn't lose track of what he's doing. But sometimes Sebastian, my Challenge A student, will run into trouble figuring something out. And I'll say, hey, what page is that? And he'll say, oh, it's page 9 or something like that. So we flip to the same lesson. And I made photocopies of the iPages for my younger child so that he has those to look on for discussion days. But he can turn to page, whatever it was, 9, and they will find they have a very, very similar problem to each other. And Sebastian's able to look at his, and they have similar materials, and they're able to move back and forth quickly, and because they know how the materials are organized, so they can move, and that they can help each other through the lessons, find problems. So anyway, so that's how we have it organized. And these just so happens that Target had colors that go with the color coding of the math map. They don't have all of them yet, but anyway, so that worked out nicely. So I hope that was helpful with organizing. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention. The flashcards. It's allergy season here in Louisville. I've never had allergies until I moved to Louisville, and everyone warned me, come September, you will have allergies, and it is true. Okay, so these are at Walmart. Sometimes they're 50 cents and sometimes they're $1. Whatever that's a nominal amount, and they fit perfectly for these. They're just perfect, and you can see through. So I can label, I'm a little disorganized right now, but I can make sure that the multiplication card shows there, out of the side there. So I keep these in this tote. Oh, there's my addition ones. If you can see, I'll just drop the camera down. See how that works? Like I said, I'm new to this whole video thing. So all our flashcards go in here. Here's our memory review. Here's our memory flashcards. Here's our dry erase sponge that we use all the time. Here's our, this is all our flashcards and our little pencils. These are the things that we use constantly, and not like we don't use other things frequently, but this is like my grab and go. Let's go outside and go do schoolwork, and I can grab but my flashcards, I know where they are in a moment, and I can just grab them. And it's funny, I couldn't find my addition, and where were they? They were right where I told them to be. So I've seen this. I got for $5 at Walmart on clearance because it was just in the clearance section. But I've seen this exact same one is on Amazon right now, I think for $15. But they have a lot of these things that they have these removable compartments, so you can customize it for what you need. So anyway, so that's how we organize our math map materials, so that I'm not fumbling around looking for what I need when my kids. So I have 3 boys and then a graduated daughter. But my 3 boys, if my mind wanders for just a moment while I look for something, it's like they smell blood in the water and they're off doing something or spit wads or who knows what. So organization for us has been very, very key. So, all right, I hope this was a help to you, and hopefully I can get you guys some more organizational or math map type stuff as I figure out all this technology stuff. All right, back to taking care of these boys.